What's up, fellow anime enjoyers? Today I got a banger anime to explain. Before we start though, please watch the anime first. It's on Netflix and it's brand new. When I saw the trailer, I knew it was going to be such a good show. This video has massive spoilers. You've been warned. Let's begin.
Warning. This video contains cuteness, badass main character. This is the best anime ever. Say otherwise and your opinion don't matter.
We start off the episode seeing our main guy Kento running. He then runs into something invisible that knocks him back on his butt, and he falls back and looks up to the sky. Then what seems to be those metal bars that I don't know what they're called, but I'm gonna call them metal bars. Um, they seem to be falling from the sky, and after that, it cuts into the intro. After the intro's over, we're shown that Kento is in class showing his classmates how he found Daemon. Apparently, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but my theory is these Daemons were once animals, but after nuke particle testing, after nuke testing, these particles that are called Daemon particles, that's what these people call them, spread across the world and corrupted animals. Now, the problem with this is Kento tells us that how he found a little thing like grain of rice grain of sand that was growing red. I don't know how he found that, but it was growing a faint red. He picked it up and took it home where it grew 3 mm a day. So I'm conflicted on whether these particles corrupted animals and turned them to abominations, or they just grew from these little particles. Either one is possible, but I don't know yet. But we continue on. Now we continue on from where he walking, I think to a next class or home. I don't know yet. Um, I really don't know. But I think he was walking to another class or no, he was walking home. He was walking home. The school's over, I remember. He was walking home and these three kids show up. These kids were in class and they saw he had a Daemon. And they said, "We want your pet dead." Legit, they just said, "We want to kill it and we want to kill it now." So this guy start to get closer and try to take his Daemon. But then um, this nun lady shows up. She says, "Leave him alone, kids." And I'm like, oh, that's a W good person. But then one of the kids say, "But he has a Damien." And then she just does from a nice lady to a, "Oh, he has one, huh?" Then she says, "Wow, okay." Then she tries to take it by force. Literally puts her hands on the kid and tries to yank the poor Damien out of his hands. But luckily, he can break free and run to an empty classroom where he hides until his mom comes picks him up, which is wild. Let me give you a quick backstory on why everybody hates these Damians. So after these particles spread across the world, there was this invasion of this huge Damien who wants to release Damien from human control. Then they had to throw like a fucking bunch of nukes, which killed a whole bunch of people, which killed a whole bunch of Damians. Now they're like a war between them. But these Damians are spreading so fast that they're leaving humans without safe places to go. And these particles give these people, these Damians, massive power. Like they're almost impossible to kill unless you're in a team. And even then, it's not even guaranteed. These guys are built different. So I understand why humans hate them. They're really just destroying us little by little. The US is having their own problems with it. They're so busy they can't help the world. Imagine being so busy with a little fucking animal problem that you can't help anybody. You're really just there dealing with these. That's how bad they are. If the US is struggling, you're gonna struggle. There's no doubt about it. So we continue on after he walks home with his mom. And he says to his mom, "Can we keep this Damien?" And she says that she looks at him for quite a few seconds, like hesitant, like she's worried. But then out of a sudden, she just says, "Yeah, you can keep him." And like a W mom she is. So we continue on from there. A little, I don't know how much time passes, but unknown amount of time passed later. I think it's like a few months or so. A few months later, we'll say. We see Kento playing outside with his Daemon. But basically, these Daemon users show up. And Daemon users are basically Pokemon trainers, okay? That's all you need to know. Um, they attack this wild Daemon and kill the flying bird. So it's poor flying Daemon. They kill it. And they have these electric collars on their own Daemons. So if they mess up or fuck around and find out, they get zapped. And apparently that's very painful. So they must have some kind of electricity weakness, which is pretty interesting. Or these collars are built different. But yeah, we show a little cutscene later that he comes and buries his poor bird that died from this Damien trainer. And he says, why can't humans and Damians live together? But what we learn later is that this nun lady was spying on him playing with this Damien. She calls animal control. These people are basically the people who deal with these Damians. They get a call, they go to the house or whatever these people have these Damians, and they murk them or they kidnap them. Either one. Um, we see that the lady on the front desk types in the Damien um, attributes. So like eyes all over its body, small and all that stuff. Then what she gets is restricted access. So other when I saw that, I'm like, oh, okay, well, here we go. Everything's gonna go down here from now, and I was correct. From that point on, everything goes downhill. So the boss, they tell the boss, the old man, because of course every boss in every movie and everything in every anime has to be an old man who's gonna mess everything up, and exactly what he does, he fucks everything up. So she tells him everything, and he's like, "Oh, so you resurfaced." And what he means by this is he shows us that this Damien, which is called a storage Damien, which can store things in an infinite space, like a little dimension where everything floats. Um, one it lost control of its powers, if I remember correctly. It lost control of its powers, swallowed an entire island and itself together, never to be seen again. So he's on a mission to find that Damien and take that island back. And that's where the halfway point we are. So what we learn, don't tell the boss anything. You tell the boss anything important, and he will mess it up. Good to know. All right, we're recording part two of this. It's been a few days since I recorded part one, and part two starts now. So, where we leave off is the old man calls a well known bounty hunter. And basically, this bounty hunter has their own Damien, usually between the middle of like overpowered and not overpowered, so kind of like in the middle. Um, and this guy has an invisibility one, so anything it touches or uses its power can make invisible, which is pretty OP if you think about it. So, what he does, we see him, well, first in the alley killing somebody. Always good to know. He just murks somebody. And then he gets a call from the old man, and the old man says, "Hey, I got a job for you. Bring in this Damien, and you'll get a fat check." And he's like, "All right, shit. Where is there to lose?" So he locates Kento and his Damien Anna playing in the park. What happens next? I'm sorry, I'm remembering this off the head. I should have just looked through it now that I think about it. But I'm pretty sure what happens next is, oh yeah, I remember. They're in the park playing, and then the three bully kids come up wanting to, murk the thing again. And this time they have weapons. So what we see is he gets into a truck, or steals it, I'm assuming, because he's a bounty hunter. He steals a truck, um, makes it invisible, and then tries to run over Kento. Good thing Anna noticed it before time and used her ability to bring one of the objects from her dimension into the real world and stop the truck before hitting them. The truck then just bounces off and explodes. And then they get out wanting beef. And then Kento takes Anna and they run. They run for a long time, and it's where the intro begins. They run from the construction site, the construction site in the beginning of this video, and they run through a whole bunch of shit, and then they end up in this building. They think they're safe, but then the guy comes in and says, I know where you're hiding. And he uses the ability to turn everything invisible. And you know what's crazy? I don't know what, but he turns everything invisible except them. So like it's so easy. Then you can like see them because everything's invisible. Which I don't know how that works because usually you would turn invisible with the things, but apparently he can choose what to turn invisible. So he turned the entire city invisible or entire block invisible, spotted Kento. Kento then sees that they spotted him because everything's invisible. It kind of like see-through invisible. And then they tried running, but the guy just jumps onto the car and jumps into the window and gets his knife out and tries to rip it out of his hands. Then they beef around, but mom, which pretty sure it was on the news. The news works really fast because goddamn, the news was just reporting about how some truck tried to run over some kids or had an accident because they don't know what really happened. Um, then the truck where it was on fire and everything. Uh, the mom, Kento's mom, was right there in her work, and she goes off running. And she eventually lands in the building where she gets utterly stabbed. And then Kento watches his mother die in front of him, which is mad. And then Kento and Anna try to fight him. It fails for a few seconds, and then at the point of doom, he turns himself invisible with a knife and just beats the living shit out of Kento. A right hook into the side. Nigga flew into the air, landed, bopped out, and then he uses a paint bucket next to him to expose the dude. Then the dude just says one incredibly insane line. Like, I don't know how you think of this at the time of your doing this, but nigga said, wow, you ruined my new clothes. Nigga, is that really your concern right now? Your fucking clothes covered in paint? And that little mishap made him to fuck up and pretty sure Anna throws some shit at him. He gets knocked out, I think, for a few seconds or a few minutes. Then he takes the collar off of the Daemon, and the Daemon all of a sudden becomes friendly. And then the Daemon runs off, and then dude gets back up, wanting more beef. But then the Daemon comes by, beats the living shit out of his owner, and then kills him, and then runs off. So wow. Who knew all you have to do is just take off a collar and they're nice. But we learn a little secret later on in the episodes that I'm not going to spoil right now, but it explains why the Damien didn't just flat out murk Kento. But yeah, that's the end of season 1, where Kento now just tries to take his mother body and find a Damien that can supposedly reverse time and bring his mother back alive, which is gonna be a long journey for our boy Kento. And the last thing we see before the entire episode ends is that they put a bounty off on Anna, and they said a massive amount of money. I put it on screen. I don't remember how much it was, but they put out a bounty for her, and they said dead or alive. I'm pretty sure, or alive or dead, either one. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, that's where episode 1 ends. So my thoughts on seeing this first thing, I'm like, this is a must watch because um seeing the trailer and seeing everything, through all the episodes, I'm like, I can actually get into this. This looks like a good anime. And I was right. It is a really good anime. I'll be doing part 2 at least a week from now. I'm trying to upload every week. Hopefully I can. Um, and yeah, that's episode 1. Then further episodes will indeed have 2 episodes crammed into them. So I'm gonna try to make the videos less than 20 minutes, but with 2 entire episodes cut up in between them. So like next week will be episode 2 and 3, and then 4 and 5, and because there's 13 episodes, and I kind of wanna make it good of it, but editing 2 episodes is hard because there's a lot of things I want to show, but a lot of things I can't show because they spoil. And it's just I don't want to get Netflix to obliterate me. Okay, so I'm gonna try figure out the best way to do this, and I'm expect a new video next week. I'm not guaranteeing you this episode 2 of this because I have many more ideas I can do that are a little bit easier and less time consuming. So If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for next week. And I'll see you on next time. Have a great day. Goodbye.